guys, this is Hbkgrand from Dark Shinobis. I'm making a video about mod setups for people who are starting out or already have started and like are somewhere in the middle of the game, but they are still confused about what Warframe's about and what you actually have to be doing with your Warframe. Now, the Warframe game has like this mod setup system where there's like a mods that you get from doing different missions, quests, killing like high level enemies, so specific enemies, and you're gonna get mods from them. Now, and all those mods have like different kind of abilities that helps improve your Warframe. So without a proper setup, you won't be able to survive or use your abilities efficiently in the game. Now, coming back to the Tenno loadout, you'll see you can pick any type of Warframe because this Warframe, I only have it maxed to rank 30. So you can have your Warframe rank 30 and then you can apply this method to them. Basically, I could have used the other Warframes, but I couldn't because like I already have Formas on it. So like for the new people who don't know what Forma is, I will be explaining a little bit further when we get into it because I will put a Forma on this to show you guys what I mean by that. So once you have a max rank Warframe and you're in the Tenno loadout, if you press the R2 ability, you'll be able to see the abilities this Warframe has. Since when it's unranked, you will only be able to see the first ability, but since this is a rank 30 Warframe, you will be able to see all the abilities. Now on the right side, like let's say we're talking about the Iron Jab. If anybody wanted to build a Warframe specific towards Iron Jab, what they would have to do is look at the ability, like the attributes that are there. For example, the Iron Jab requires range, which is 10. The damage is 800 and the radius is 2, so it will be like somewhere around radius of 2 around that area. So now I'm gonna go to the upgrade menu and I'm gonna show you guys like how we boost that thing up. So just remember that this is just a guide for people who don't know what's going on, so I hope this helps you guys out. So let's go. Once you're in the Tenno loadout, you're going to press triangle and go upgrade. Now over here, you'll see that there's like these slots. These ones, you can put regular mods here. This one is a special mod area. This is called the Aura mod slot. This one is a special area as well. This is called the Excellus mod area. So, and where you can look what mods you can put over here. If you come to the bottom of the screen, you'll see the symbol right here. This one matches the one on top, and this one's called the Aura mod. If you want to go to the Excellus one, it's right here. This one, only these mods will go over here with the Excellus one. The other mods, they won't be able to go. Now, these are the polarities that everybody needs to know. So the Madurai, usually people call them the V polarity, V for Victor. So they call this the V polarity. And then this one is called Vazarin, but people usually call it the D polarity. And this one is the Neramon. Usually people call it the minus polarity. This one is called the Xenoric. This is double polarity. The one that I did not mention was this one, the Augment. The Augment mods are another story. I will be making a movie about, video about syndicates. So in that, I will explain what you need to do for the syndicates, and then in that story, I will be sharing what Augment mods are used for. Now, coming back to the topic, so once your Warframe is ranked 30, on the left side, you'll be able to see that your capacity is 30 out of 30. So all the mods have a specific number on them. The ones that are unstarred will have a lower number. So once you use your endo and credits, which I will show in a second how you put the credits and endo, will increase the points. So, and that will take away the points from your capacity. Now, on the left side where you see the capacity, you'll see the general aspect of a Warframe. You'll see its armor, you'll see its energy, you'll see its health, you'll see its shield, you'll see its sprint speed, and then the mods that can amplify the Warframe is through these four attributes, main attributes for the Warframe, which is the duration. The duration is basically you apply an ability and it will take time. So the time it takes to start to finish, that will be the duration of your Warframe's ability. The efficiency. Now, coming back, we're going to be going back and forth. So just try to keep up. If it doesn't help out, just go back and then listen to this. So the efficiency is basically the amount of energy you're going to be using when you cast an ability. Some abilities you just use it once and they're done. Some abilities they're continuous. So until when you start it and until your energy drains out, it will be constantly using your energy. So for example, my efficiency is 100%, but my energy is 150. So if I cast an ability, it will first use the ability, the amount of energy required to cast the ability, and from there on, there will be an efficiency rate on your Warframe's build, which will say, let's say, like you cast the Iron Jab, and it doesn't say that there, but it's just like a hypothetically saying, let's say Iron Jab takes 1.5 energy per second. So the efficiency actually helps you lower that ratio so you can have a longer period of energy and you can use the ability for a longer period of time. Now, the range, so for example, you use an ability and the range will be determined by in meters. So let's say there's an enemy that's 50 meters away from you. You put up a mod, you have a high range, it will be able to kill them. Like when you use your ability, it will be able to kill enemies that are like 50 meters away because of your range. Now, strength. Now, strength is basically usually most important in all the Warframe's abilities, like mostly people focus on, because strength is concerned with damage. So the more strength you have, the more damage you're going to do. So it's kind of like up to you if you want to make it a complete strength build. Now, coming back, we're going to go back to the Tenno loadout so I can explain a little bit. Now, let's just focus on the first ability for now. Let's say Iron Jab. Now, the range is 10 meter and the damage is 800. So now we're going to go back and we're going to go to upgrade. And I'm going to find two mods that can amplify the range so you guys get a better idea how this system works. So for the range, there are a lot of mods, but the most one is, let's go here, stretch right here. You can have a regular one, you can go into missions, you can find this one. So I'll just put for a small one for now. And for damage, let's have intensify. Now these are like some common mods you should have, even if you have the damaged ones when you start off, you should be able to find them. So I'll put a regular one in there. And you'll see on the left side or on capacity, you'll see my range went from 100% to 108%. My strength went from 100 to 105. Now, what that does is it strengthens your abilities. It helps improve your abilities. Now we're going to go back and use R2 to check our abilities and what has happened to them. So we press R2. Now you see the range meter hasn't changed. It has stayed the same, but the damage and the radius has improved. So the stretch mod that we put, like the radius was at 2, I believe, and the damage was somewhere around 800, and it increased because of the mods that we put up. So on the bottom, if you want to see there's a difference, you could always press square where it says view status stats without mods. So let's press square. So before they were the damage was 800, now it's 840. The radius was 2, now it's 2.15. And how you know what amount of energy you need to cast the ability is right on that next before Iron Jab, where you see the icon and then you see the rank and then you see there's like a blue orb saying 25. The second one like says 50, so that means it costs that amount of energy to basically use the energy and basically use the ability. Now, coming back to where we're going to be talking about what to look for, basically. So we're going to go back to upgrades, and here, basically, let's say that the armor. So a lot of Warframes have low armors, but Wukong has really high armor. So when he has a high armor like that, what you do is you're gonna find mods that can strengthen him. So there's a mod called Steel Fiber. I'm gonna find it, and I'm gonna put it on right here. So you'll see the armor went from 225 to 247. So the higher the armor, the better the chance of the Warframe is going to be like surviving. So, but this applies to Warframes which have high armor. So basically you're going to build that for them. Some do not have a high armor. So what you do is you don't worry about putting armor mods on them because it will not change or make a difference for them. Now, once you have your Warframe in the max rank, what you're going to do is you're going to be looking at mods and you're going to see what they are needed for. Now, as I explained earlier about the polarities and the aura mods, so first of all, we're going to go to the aura section. So this is how you start building up your Warframe, and it will actually help you understand what happens and how people just like have so many higher level mods on the Warframe. Now, if you see right here, I have this mod which is unranked and it has 2 on it, and you'll see like an arrow pointing upwards towards it. Now when I press X on it, you'll see that this area, the aura mod slot, actually turned green. So that means I can put it on right there. But let's see what happens when we put this type of aura mod, which is like a 2 with a minus polarity, and there's an arrow going up. When I put that on, it says you cannot put that one on because that's the wrong polarity. Now, let's see what happens if I put a wrong polarity mod on it. So on the left side, you'll see my capacity has changed to 31, yet my empowered blades polarity, it was 2, it went actually down 1. So that actually is a bad idea. Now let's see what happens when I put this on here. So since this is the same polarity, I'm going to put 2 up there, and the 2 turned into a 4. And if you see on the capacity side, it went from 30 to 34. So basically the aura mod will give you a lot more capacity points, and if you put the right polarity, it will double the amount of whatever aura mods points you had. Let's say you had 4 or 5, it will double the amount, and that will add to your capacity. Now let's find a mod, like for example, I'm just going to use this one because this is maxed out right now. I'm going to put a max rank growing power. I put that on, you see automatically the capacity doubled, and not doubled, but it went 14 points up. So from 30, it went to 44, where you see the growing power, you're going to see it's like from 7, it went to 14. So putting a polarity on, proper one on the aura mod will give you the right amount of capacity points. So just make sure you're not putting the wrong polarity on the aura mod, because that's a lot of players make mistakes on. The second one, I'm just gonna put a random Exilus mods, even if you don't have them. Usually you have it locked. There's one you can get from Cephalon Samaris for 50,000 points, but that's another story. You gotta scan them and all that kind of stuff, so which is a long thing to do. So the other thing is, like, you could just press X on the mod that you want in the Exilus slot and press X, and you're gonna get the option to purchase an Exilus adapter for 20 plat. To be honest, it's a lot cheaper to buy it for 20 plat than go farm 50,000 credits, because you could use it to get other stuff from Cephalon Samaris. So once you have that, you press X and you have purchased the Exilus mod, you will have that slot open and you can put the points in there. Now, if you see, the aura mods gave you the 44 points, they gave you the additional 14, but as soon as I put on the coaxium drift, it actually took away 9 points from that 44. So as you soon start putting up points on those slots, it will start decreasing the capacity points. Now, let's say now I need health on my Warframe. So anytime you're thinking about leveling up your Warframe, you have to remember that you need to put on health mods or shield mods so that you could survive for a longer period of time. Now the most common health mod is the Vitality. Now, vitality, and I will actually explain two things at the same time as well. Now, over here, when you see, if I put right over here, it just took 2 points away from that capacity point. And then secondly, my health went from 300 to 340. Now, let's put it back here. And again, like how I was discussing about the aura mod, the polarity is green. If you see, I have a mod, this mod has a D polarity on it, and there's a D polarity slot available on the regular slot area. Now, and you can see that there's a minus sign, and it's saying that would be a wrong polarity if I put it over there. So let's see what happens if I put this in the wrong slot. When I put it over here, that 2 actually became a 3. So actually it costs me an extra point putting it on the wrong slot. Now let's see what happens when we put this slot in the right slot area. When we put it up here, that 2 actually became a 1. And the capacity, instead of taking going down to 33, it actually stayed from 35, it went to 34. So it didn't take an extra point. So in the case of the aura mod, it will grant you extra points, but in case of having polarities here anywhere on the regular frames, it will actually decrease the points to half. So let's say I have 12 right here, right? So if I have the right polarity, I put it on it, the 12 becomes a 6. And if I put that wrong polarity, the 12 becomes the 15. So make sure you're not putting up on the wrong polarity. Now, I'm going to put another mod over here. It's called redirection. So while you're leveling up your stuff, you're going to always find people you're going to always find it hard to level up because you're not surviving. You die, you revive, and when you revive, you lose the affinity. Affinity is basically the experience you gain. So it's like a name, like an XP gain name. So let's say now we have those 2 on. So you see with that health, when I have those maxed out, you could even have like 2 stars, 3 stars, up to you, because that's why I have these low stars one, because you can always put other mods while you're working on with this. But if you see, I put a health mod, I put 2 maxed mods. I just wanted to show you the difference. My health originally was 300, but putting a health mod like that, vitality, your health can go from 300 to 740. So you can imagine your survivability just boosted up like big time. Then I put up a shield mod, and you can see my shield went from 375 to 925, which is a huge deal. So these are really important mods you need to put up when you're leveling up your character. Now, the redirection is really important when you're facing Corpus, and the vitality mod is really important when you're facing Grenier and Infested. Now, a lot of people have this contradiction that since like Greniers are shooting with weapons same as Corpus, so like we should just have shield on. But like when you get to the higher levels where Greniers are like really high levels, they actually have this slash effect on you, so they take off your health avoiding the shield. So they attack you and the shield is disregarded and you get attacked straight to the health. So you would always need vitality on you when you're facing Greniers, and Infested, always they attack your health directly and they have a high slash damage as toxin damage. So it's important to have vitality when you're facing Infested and Grenier, and redirection when you have Corpus. Now, as you see, I'm putting up points. Now on the capacity side, I'm starting to get low on points. Now a lot of mods, the most common mods that you're going to be having, I don't have a continuity, but I want to show you guys that this one would be one of the most important ones you will need to have. So you can have a regular continuity for now, that's alright, there's no problem. So once you put that on there, you'll see your duration goes from 100%. So let's say you have like a rank 2 or something, so it goes 105, 110, 120, so it could be anything. Now, since I can't do anything anymore with the capacity, you'll see that I have only 2 points left, and most of the mods that I have here have higher points than 2. So I can't really put anywhere on them, so it will not let me put it on them. Now, one thing that you have to do is, I'm going to try to do this, so let's take these off so I can put them back on here. What I'm going to do is here, like if you see, I'm back to square one, we're all back here, and you'll see my capacity is 30 out of 30. Now, a lot of people don't know about this, but there's a R3 button. So first of all, never use auto installation. So it will just pick up random mods you have. Some are unranked, or some are better than the other, or some are rare. It will just throw them on the build and it will just ruin it. Never. The second option that you see right there is the upgrade option. Now, for this, you need the Hbkgrand reactor, I'm sorry. So the Hbkgrand reactor, actually, we're going to apply one right now and see what happens. So it says, just make sure you have attention on the capacity where it says 30 out of 30. Once I install the reactor, this is what's going to happen. Boom. That's 60 out of 60 points. So your Hbkgrand reactor actually doubles the amount of points you have on your Warframe. This will help you get more points on the Warframe. Now, and more mods, obviously. Now, keeping in view of that 60 points, and you get to put on an aura mod with the same polarity, I just went from a 30 to a 74 points. What that will do is that will help me put even more mods. So let's see right here. So you got to be thinking clearly when you're putting on polarity mods. Now, let's see over here. I'm going to put that there like how it was before. I'm going to put that there. Now, if you saw that, like I just had like 2 points left when I put all these mods on. Now I have like 33 mods left. Now, the easiest way is to look for a mod with a minus polarity. Now, you will always need a good energy source. So at the moment, for what you call it, the energy, you'll see it's 150. So we're gonna go look for a mod, a minus mod, which has high energy. So you could use flow. Let's use flow, and you'll see the energy went from 150 to 175. But you can also use the prime version of it. So let's write flow right here. So the prime flow I have, and prime flow and prime continuity, guys, remember, an unranked version can be bought for 30 to 40 plat in the market. They're really cheap, but the downside is you need 1,000,000 credits to get a trade with them, because that's the trade tax for the game. Now, if I put that on, my energy went from 150 to 400. And as you can see, since I put the right polarity, it, instead of costing me 13 points, it actually went down to 7. Now, a lot of people would be saying like, well, 7 is not the half of 13, but the game thinks like when you have 14, it's close to 14, so it's going to take like a higher number and try to round it off, and whatever it gets, because there's no way to round off 13 when you divide it in 2. So basically, the game will round it off with the number next to it or the one before. Now, there are some mods that you can put on for building up your range and strength, as we told earlier. So this time, I'm going to put a bigger mod for range so we can see the difference. So I'm going to put right here, stretch. Well, I have a plus 45%. You could put like whichever one you like. So I went from 108%, which was 100% in the beginning, and it went to 145%. Then I'm gonna try to show you guys what this mod is. This is a really important mod to have, because right now, if you look on the left side under capacity, there is duration, efficiency. Now, efficiency, I told you, is a really key important, because it is basically the amount of energy you're going to be using to cast your ability. So Streamline is one of those mods that actually helps you increase the ability of efficiency, which entails that you'll be using less energy per second. So I'm going to, for now, just put up a max one to give you guys a better idea where you're going to be looking at your Warframe. Now, that's about, from 100%, it went to 130%. And then the final one, I'll be just putting on, since I can't put a level 9, because now I'm out of capacity points. I have 8, but and the Intensify has 9. So I'm going to look for a mod like ability, like I have a unranked one. So I'm just going to put that one there to increase my strength. So my strength went from 100% to 105, but I'm going to try to show you guys okay, so how to upgrade the mods? I'll quickly show that first so you guys have a general idea. So just keep idea about strength and also the capacity. So the capacity is at 2 right now and strength is at 105. So we're going to go and press square. You'll see on the bottom of the menu on the mod area, you'll see there says square with mods. So if you press square, you're going to come to the modding menu. Now here, what you're going to do is, since we had 2 capacity points, we only have the chance to put only 2 upgrades on a mod. So you press X on the mod you want to upgrade. You go to Fusion, and you're going to press X on it. And on the top right corner, you'll see there's a number, 1377, and with a gold symbol. That's called Endo. So you will need Endo plus credits to upgrade your mods. So if you press R1, that's a rank 1 Intensify, and for that you'll see there's a fusion cost on the right side. For that you need 30 Endos and 1,449 ranking cost for the mod. Now, if I want, since we had 2 capacity points, I'm just going to go to rank 2. For the rank 2, it costs me 90 Endo and 4,347. Once you know how much points you want to put on your mod, you're going to press square where it says apply fusion. So press square and it will ask you, are you sure? So you say yes, and that you just got your Intensify from rank 0 to rank 2. Now we're going to go back. Now here you'll see now we don't have any capacity points anymore, and your strength was 105 when the Intensify was unranked, but after we put 2 ranks on it, it went to 115. Now, putting up all of this, it kind of looks like everything is kind of like in its place. So now we're going to go back and we're going to check over here, what have we done with the ability section. Now, if you look over here, the green marks actually show that those are the upgrades that you have gotten. Let's say, and then I'm going to show you something, like you can also view what your setup looked like without the mods, like what your Warframe was. So you can press square to check out what they were. So let's just focus on the Iron Jab for now. So the rank is basically, it costs about 25 energy to cost that. The range, it's about 10, damage is about 800, the radius is 2. After the setup that we just made right now, if you press square, again, to view stats with mods, what happens is, like, if you just focus on the first ability, the Iron Jab, you'll see the rank, and then you'll see the energy cost. It went from 25 to 18. The range meter hasn't changed because that's basically its common one, but the damage went from 800 to 920. And the radius it went from 2 to 2.9. So all the abilities that you see, they are dependent on about what type of ability you're going to be building. So mods like stretch or whatnot will affect the range. So the radius is actually affected by the stretch mod. The mod like Intensify, that affected damage, and it increased the damage. The mod that says on the second one, if you focus on, or let's just go on the Primal Fury, on the last ability, which is Primal Fury, and if you see it says damage, that is also affected by the strength that you put on your Warframe. So the higher the strength, the more damage it's going to make when it's attacking. Melee range radius, or whatever your melee weapon is, as well the primary fury is active. It's like a big sword and all that kind of stuff, so it will give you a lot of power, and it has a radius of 29 percent, and it will do a lot of damage. The energy percent is what I'm talking about. So let's press the stats without the mod. It's 3 energy per second. So since we'll go back to the menu of the mods and we'll see how much energy we have. So basically it will be costing us 3 energy per second while we have Primal Fury active. Now, when we press square again, and after the mod setup we have, it will actually cost us almost less than half of energy per second. So when we cast the ability, it's going to take away 18 points from our energy first of all. Then it's going to take away 1.4 energy per second from our energy. So let's go back, let's go to upgrade, and we'll see on the top left corner where it says energy, we have 400 energy. So to cast the ultimate ability of Wukong, it will take 18 points away from 400, and then the remaining will drop down at the rate of 1.4 energy per second. So that is basically how you can determine what you need to be doing. Now, the last part is the most crucial part that you need to understand about using on your Warframe. That is the polarities. Now you know what the polarities are first of all. So you got an aura polarity, which is like a circle icon. You got the augment polarities. You got the XLS polarities. This is the V polarity, the Madurai, the D polarity, the Vazarin, the minus polarity, the Narumon, the Xenoric polarity, which is the 2 double dashes. Now, as you can see here, I have on the left side, I have 0 points out of the 74. So I don't have any space to put the last mod in, even though I could put it right there. So I don't know what I should be doing. Now, to do that, what you need to be thinking about is polarity, polarization. Now, how you go about polarization is you press R3, again, the action area, and you're going to see the polarize option right there. Now, once you have the polarize option, you'll come to this menu. Now, what this menu lets you do is put a polarity on it. And you can put on an empty slot. Never put a polarity on a slot which has symbols on them, which already contains a polarity. So always use an empty area or an empty slot to put your polarity on. So let's say I want to work for, and also remember for the polarities, you're going to use the polarity of a symbol that you're using on a mod. The symbol on the mod that has the highest number, that's the polarity you're going to be aiming for to put on your builds. That way, when you put the correct polarity, you won't have to worry about extra numbers. So let's put a V polarity because continuity has a V polarity on it. So we're going to press R3 and we're going to go to the polarity. So you can even put it over here if you like. I'm just going to put it over here. Now, when you press X, it will show you the option of what type of polarity you want. So I could put the V polarity, the D polarity, the minus polarity, the double dash polarity. But since the prime continuity or continuity, whichever one you like, has a V polarity, we're going to put this polarity on it. Now you're going to see a change happen after you apply. So don't panic if you do this and you're like, oh my God, what did I do? So when you press apply, it is going to say applying the new slot polarity will expend on a forma and reset this item to unranked. Are you sure? So you have to press yes. Now, what this is going to do is you're going to see on the left side, my capacity went down to 60. My Wukong has gone from 30 to unranked. But you will see next to Wukong, there's a star and it says 1. So each time you put a polarity on your Warframe, it's going to unrank it and you're going to have to go and rank it up back to 30. Once it's back ranked to 30, this time you will have 7 extra points because the prime continuity before was taking 14 points, now it's only taking 7. So when you go there, instead of 0 out of 74, you will have extra 7 points to spend on once you reach the rank 30. If you still have more points, like if you think that you still need like more points to put on another mod, what you do is then you go do the polarity again, and you're going to be doing the same thing. So you cannot, like, if you have an unranked Warframe all the way to like, let's say you need one more XP to get to rank 30, it will not let you put a polarity on your Warframe or any slots until your max rank on the Warframe. So you gotta wait until you max it out. So once you max it out, you can always come back here, put a polarity, like for example, D is the highest in all of them. So I'll probably put a D polarity over here and max it out, max the Warframe all over again. So in the similar case, you'll see, like, since I have a lot of Warframes, so I can just show you, like how you saw Wukong has 1 star on it. So I have Warframes, some have 5 formas, so I had to rank them up to max 5 times, 4 times. There are some that have 3, some have 2, some have 1. So basically you would have to format them each time. So basically that's the gist of learning about how to set up mods and properly. I hope this guide helps you guys. Anybody who needs help with mod setup, you can always catch me. Hbkgrand is my gamer tag on PSN. So just before we leave, there's one more element, which is with the Plains of Eidolon coming along, it will be changing. But they said in the DE, during the prime time, that the lenses. Now, what are the lenses? You get them from sorties usually. You could buy them from the market, but the lenses are basically, or if you press R3, you'll see the option right here, the focus lens. So you can, it needs a maxed Warframe, maxed weapon to put a lens on. So if you press X, you can attach a lens of your choice to the Warframe. And if you have done the second Dream Quest, that's where you will know what these lenses are used for. So they're like trees and they're like focus points, you use it. But with the Plains of Eidolon, you won't have to worry about that. Next up, for example, like how I said, you need a build for your against if infested and Grenier. So you could go like, let's say like this is a new item that was not installed before, and like it was like one of these recent updates where you can name your configurations. Before it just used to be A and B, so you couldn't do much, so we just had to memorize it. But now you can actually type in configuration A, configuration B. So like let's say my configuration is A against Greniers and infested. So I'll type that and press confirm. It just popped from configuration to configuration B. So that way you don't even have to worry about putting back and forth setup. So you can always have a Grenier setup ready. And basically, let's say I would put this up in a way like, well, it's not 100% accurate, but let's just say this is a Grenier infested setup. That like you need vitality, like I said, you need a lot of health because sometimes they're tough levels, they put slash melt on you. And then if I wanted to say like, okay, I need a Corpus one. And so I'm gonna go to configuration B. I'm gonna write, this is my Corpus build, for example. Confirm. So I can put all the mods, like the growing power, I'll put it back on there. I'll put the Exilis mod, like coaction risk, for example. And so this is basically just like a small change. You could do this like even in the configuration setting, but I sometimes don't feel like doing that, so I just do it like this. So it's a lot easier. You just tap R1 and you can make your Warframe. So you can go look back what you're missing. So prime continuity and streamline, I'm gonna put by rank. So let's say prime continuity. I'm gonna look for streamline. So this is not like the best build for this Warframe, so don't like take this as like this is a build like that's so accurate on Warframe, so on this Warframe. So it's just like to teach people like how to set up mods and stuff, because it's really important to have this part of knowledge into the game. So once we have that stretch, we're going to be going there, and we need to put a flow over here. So we're going to go back and put flow right there, and from flow the last mod that we're going to be putting. See, now for the Grenier Infested, we put Vitality, but for Corpus, what we need is Redirection. Because the Corpus, they attack you on your shields first, and once your shields are down, that's when they attack your health. Now, some people will be building Forma, some people will not be. So if you're not building Forma, do not, when you come to this option and you say, oh, okay, so I can install if I don't have a Forma, so I can just buy one, and it will say over here you need to buy it for 20 plat. Do not buy that one. If you're thinking of buying Formas, they cost 35 plat, and if you come to the market, you're going to be seeing here, if you press Forma right here, let's see, you'll see there's a bundle, and this bundle gives you 3 built Formas for 35 plat. So I would suggest getting that, and basically you can always go farm fishers and get Forma blueprints, and I think I might have one building. So let me see over here, do I have one building? I think not at the moment. Let me just check, double check. Nope, not at the moment. But these lens, I don't know if what they're going to do with the Plains of Eidolon, so wait until the update arrives and people know what they're doing. That's when you should apply lens on your Warframes, how they're going to change it up. But that applying lens is still applicable even after Plains of Eidolon is out. It's only the trees that are being reworked. So that is basically the basics of learning about how to build your setups and your mod areas about your Warframe. So I hope this video helps everybody, because it is really important, and this is like the key aspect of a Warframe, because you got to have a proper Warframe build. So I will be starting to share my other Warframe builds, like my Nova has 5 Formas and what I did to get her there, what mods that I put up there. So I will start posting those in the coming weeks. So I hope you guys like this video. Please subscribe, and if you have any questions, you can always catch me on YouTube, leave a comment, or you could always catch me on my PSN gamer tag, which is Hbkgrand. So I hope you guys like this video.